Welcome everyone to our LinkedIn Glow Up today on a Thursday for a change. Welcome everyone. Great that you are here on this unusual, on this unusual day. I want to say normally we meet on a Wednesday. Those of you that have been in the Terps Practice Network for longer already know this. I'm Sarah. I'm just checking the tech here, whether everything is fine. I hope you can all hear me, see me, and the right microphone and so on is connected. Yes, sounds all good, I hope. If not, let me know. So before I will start with the LinkedIn Glow Up, I want to already prepare you that I will ask one of you to come into the hot seat, in maybe around about 15 to 20 minutes. So you can already mentally, emotionally prepare if you want to volunteer or not. Hot seat means you will share your LinkedIn profile and we will have a look at it and see what can be improved or what we can praise about it. Huh? So that's one thing. Then I would like to announce something super exciting. Ooh, drum roll. I don't have my sound effects here at the moment, but drum roll, imagine. Maybe you've already heard of it as well because it's already out there. I'm also now, or I have decided that I will also now host my very first online summit. Woohoo! So there will be an online summit for the Terps Practice Network. Mark your calendars. It's Saturday and Sunday, October 11 and 12. So I try to speak very clearly. 11, 12, October. So Saturday, Sunday. It will be all day on those 2 days. There are amazing spotlight speakers, and we will celebrate our evolution because this is also the opportunity when I will reveal the big changes that are happening inside the Terps Practice Network. And there's still time to participate, to be part of this movement. Please, guys, um, if you haven't participated in the polls yet, many of you have heard it now many times now and already bored by it. I'm sorry. But for those that haven't yet, there are polls in the Terps Practice Network. I will get the links for you as well about the name change of our community. So away from the word practice in the name, Terps Practice Network, the name will change. So you can be part of it. What shall this be called? Because we are the community of positivity, mutual support, and non-competition. Um, and at the moment, we don't have any live practice, interpreting practice, that means in here. Of course, everything here is practice. Client acquisition, it's also practice, But, when we hear practice for interpreting, we all assume, I think, interpreting practice. So let's rather reflect what's in the box, let's put on the tin what's in the box, and you can be part of it. And the decision will be announced at the summit. You can be part of it, please. This is really because this is the community for you guys, yeah? And the second big change will be the format. So the summit, as you can already maybe guess, those that have been here for longer already. And I know we have a few new faces. This is super wonderful. Welcome, everyone. And this is the format. So normally we have spotlight topics and spotlight speakers on Wednesdays. And with the summit is called Terps Spotlight Summit. So as you can already now guess, maybe there will be spotlight speakers at the summit now. So condensed now in those 2 days, amazing spotlight speakers. And this is already the experiment instead of like now stretched out once a week. It's like on 2 days, several spotlight speakers in one place, let's say, and therefore change the weekly format. So maybe a networking session, 30 minutes, to really get to know each other here, because when we are many people in a big room, I know it's difficult to like really connect with another colleague, so then have real networking sessions in breakout rooms and games and so on. So this is the idea. But there's also a poll about it, and you can still share your ideas as well, because again, this community is for you guys. So yeah, this is super, super welcome. I really welcome your feedback. And yeah, and so I hope and super excited to see you at the summit then. It will be super, super cool. You will learn so much from like even neuroscience. We have a spotlight speaker talking about neuroscience, and she is a neuroscientist. This is like, wow. Marketing, branding, and AI, of course, will be addressed as well. So super, super exciting 2 days on October 11th and 12th. All right, I think this is enough about the announcement. So this is why I also decided to have one last LinkedIn glow up before the summit, because now from after today I will be busy more than before already with the summit. But I wanted to give you the opportunity again to have one hot seat session and help you with your mindset in terms of client acquisition, because actually it's always mindset that's blocking us to find the clients that we want to have the the freelance lifestyle that we truly want, like with serenity, as little stress. I mean, in the ideal world, of course, no stress at all, peace of mind, being able to take a holiday without worrying, oh, but then I get the great gig, and I cannot take it then, and so on. We all know those fears. And this is what this is for today. So I will start sharing my screen. You can ask questions, in between. Please just interrupt me. When you know this, when you're speaking and hosting and having some technology here, I might not notice if you raise your hand or put something in the chat, especially when I share my screen, then it's all covered up. So just unmute, speak, let me know that you are there and want something. Same thing if you see anything or assume, suspect that there is anything wrong, like I'm talking about the slide and you don't see the slide or whatever, please make me aware if anything like this happens. And with that, I think let's start, because we have 1 hour and it's pretty full. So we want to get things done here. Let me just start my presentation. And therefore I need to open my file, of course, in presentation mode. And there it is. Second. Okay. Bear with me. Thank you for your patience. I only have one screen today, so I need to juggle a bit here. Oh, come on. Because you disappear when I put it in presentation mode. We will get there. Sorry. So, okay. Okay. Oh, no, just a portion, but okay, we will get there. No worries. Do it like this. All right, don't want to lose any more time. Let's start. Can you see something? Can you see the slide? I cannot see you anymore. No, I can see you. Okay. Simone, can you give me the thumbs up? Yeah, okay, great, perfect. Okay, thank you. All right, guys. So LinkedIn Glow Up for interpreters. Mindset meets marketing. Attract clients and build your freelance dream. So, by the way, for this, I want to really mean freelance dream is a big word, but I really mean like, how do you want to feel the majority of the time in your day-to-day life? This is what it's about. And you can achieve this with no matter how many clients, how much you earn, whether it's good or bad clients, because this is the mindset aspect here. Mindset meets marketing. Because yes, of course, we all want to have, this great business, make millions and whatever, But this is also about being realistic, and it doesn't mean that those people are happier than people with less money, or fewer interpreters and so on, interpreting clients, I mean. So this is the mindset part here. So because this spiral will never stop. So this is already the first thing I want to make you aware of it. So you can already achieve happiness or whatever, in any kind of at any level of interpreting you are at, All right, let's go about it. This is what I want to talk about with you today. So we will optimize your LinkedIn profile, or one of yours who wants to be in the hot seat. And then I will talk about your ideal client, why it's important to keep it in mind. It will help you so much, when you start being active on LinkedIn, or change your strategy if you or have it, or use LinkedIn finally with a strategy in presenting yourself out there. Have your ideal client in mind. I will talk about this. And this relates to creating LinkedIn content, and of course without overwhelm, because we don't like that. How to build genuine connections with potential clients and take the next step toward, again, your dream freelance business. And just for those that don't know me yet, I'm Sarah, because I know we have a few new people. Those that know me, please bear with me or grab a coffee. So I'm Sarah, and we cannot see the full screen, I think. No, 1 second, not the full slide. Oh, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it is a full slide, more or less. Okay, all right. So I'm Sarah. I'm a freelance interpreter for German and English and have been since 2012. I went freelance right away after university. I didn't take the advice of, oh, you need to first take a job, collect some experience in the real world, in the real work world. It's too risky to go freelance right away. But I didn't listen to it. But why was I so? You could maybe say, I don't know, naive, strong, brave, stupid, you know. It was because I had already had an experience that made me say, all right, you know what, I do it my way this time. And this was that I had originally actually studied medicine, because I was born and grew up in a small town in Germany. You could say in a sheltered family, mother was a housewife, father working, two brothers, and so on. But yeah, then life happens sometimes. This is also what I refer to mindset. Life just sometimes happens, and you need to think about, okay, there are things happening outside of your control. What is it that you can control? For example, there were losses in my family and even mental health challenges. And back in the days, it wasn't that, how to say, commonly accepted in society yet. I think nowadays there has been a good development. There's more talk about mental health, even mental health day and so on. But back then not, it was all completely new, and like what's happening. So totally the world was upside down. And this is also kind of then when I struggled with studying medicine, because I noticed like, hey, something is wrong, but why is that? I mean, medicine is a great career path, right? Who is so stupid to drop out? Yeah, but I was, because I just knew in my inside, this is not the future somehow I want. And everything in me just rebelled. It's like, no, no, it's not me. So, and I followed this strong, or I couldn't actually not follow it because it just happened. I had to drop out. It didn't work any further. And this is what I did. And then I went back to my original passion, languages. And this was the best decision ever. And here you see as well. But of course, it doesn't mean that there are no obstacles. We all know the Shark Tank mentality, right? This is what I then faced. Or what I said just now, after my studies, already people advising me, oh, take a real job first, because it's too risky. You need to first take some experience as an employee. But I was like, come on, I've already, like back then, also the mindset, lost 2 years of studying something, I don't pursue anymore. I don't want to lose any more time. But, this was good in the sense because, I was super eager and it worked, because I did the client acquisition as hell. I didn't listen to these bad advice, this bad advice. And this is what you can and need to learn to distinguish good advice versus bad advice, or rather, who's giving you the advice? Like, because people like giving opinions, but you need to check, okay, who is giving this opinion? Are they in the right position? Are they already there where I am? Because if not, how can they give me an opinion that I should follow? Because it doesn't make sense. They're not competent. They don't have the competency. You wouldn't go to get your knee surgery from a heart surgeon, right? So you need to ask the right person. And this is like also the mindset, like to distinguish and become kind of like self-aware, um, like really aware. Like in German, it's a good word, Bewusstsein, consciousness. And it really means like being just aware. It doesn't mean like arrogant or overly confident. It just means like really to be aware of your needs and what's going on around you, and then make your own decision, like critical thinking. Yeah. So because I'm sure, and let me know, raise your hand or in the reactions, give me an emoji, the thumbs up, if you have had like Shark Tank experiences. Give me the thumbs up. Like a colleague, a senior colleague, maybe back then also, which is also whole nonsense, a senior, junior thing, by the way. Okay, but this is something else. But like saying, hey, you cannot work in two cities, never mind two countries. You need one city as a headquarters and just do client acquisition there. But even with client acquisition, you need to be careful because, that organization you told me about, I know they already have a senior interpreter. You should ask her first, and because otherwise you steal that interpreter's client. Like, okay, if I had not talked to you, I would not even know that this organization had another interpreter. Okay, now, I have the knowledge. Now I need to act accordingly. But if you don't know, I mean, come on, you need to find clients. So you need to do client acquisition. So, again, listen to like who is giving you the advice. Of course, I'm not saying here steal clients from interpreter colleagues. Of course not. Work ethically, with a good morale. Of course, it just use your common sense, and sometimes these good intentions turn into something that nobody ever wanted. You can see this also in history of the world, like. And something bad, and nobody wanted this, but somehow it develops this way. There's this group dynamic or whatever into something like too much, like, yeah, there's a good intention, work ethically. But if it becomes this complicated, I need to do client acquisition. I cannot check, with all interpreters that I know first, and that I need to need to get to know first whether this company already, is somebody's client. It's just daft, right? So do it your own way, and this is what I also like always to emphasize on regarding mindset. This is the freedom. The freedom is in your mindset, to start and to learn to not care what other people think, or learn to distinguish that's better to say, learn to distinguish what to care about and what not. So yeah, now let's come to LinkedIn. So why LinkedIn? I think I don't need to spend much time on it. We all know LinkedIn, right? It's the professional network. Everybody knows it's for business, so it's perfect to do client acquisition. But it's not the only thing, I actually back then started without LinkedIn. I called companies, emailed them, called them again. So I did it that way. And then after, a couple of years when LinkedIn became more prominent and so on, I started to use LinkedIn as well. It's great because it's already like a lower barrier, because you can message somebody instead of writing like a formal email or whatever. So I would say email is still is more formal than a LinkedIn message, right? So this way it's good to have more informal connections right away. Yeah, and you can find them there easily, and you can find the individual on LinkedIn, rather than with the website and emails and so on. It's rather the company, outside of LinkedIn. LinkedIn, the real person or the individual person. Yeah, and here we come. So already with regards to becoming active on LinkedIn yourself, what do I mean by that? I mean, starting attraction marketing or pull marketing. That means you start posting or continue if you've already done so, of course, but then with a strategy. So you create content, comment on other people's posts, like them, react to them, and so on. This helps with the algorithm as well. And now, the strategy behind this is always have your ideal client in mind, because you might comment already on colleagues' posts and so on. Great. But does it really help you? Are they likely to give you a job? If yes, great. But if you feel like, okay, I've been doing this for 2 years and no colleague has ever here given me a job or whatever, or, requested me, then, it might be time to change it and rather have your ideal client out in the industry, in the free market in mind, and post to them, because then it gives you a laser focus and you get ideas what to post about. You stop pondering, oh, should I post this or that? Just always, make it simple, as if you were talking to this one person. Maybe you already have a client that you really like and appreciate. Then think about them, and like as if you were speaking to them. The key in this type of marketing is also to not be too formal in those posts. It is about to speak already as if you were speaking to a friend. This creates like this proximity already, this closeness. Yeah, and an exercise here for you is already really take a screenshot and do this today or tomorrow. Create your ideal client avatar. Go on, for example, canva.com, the free version. Take one of their CV or resume templates and really like imagine a person, like really take a picture and put a picture in there from Canva, a fictive person, and imagine. And here you can really like, be creative. This is your thing, nobody, tells you anything here. There's no must, nothing. You create the rules. So you can imagine the ideal client that you want to work with. like the client that books you in exchange of only 2 emails, instead of calling you 1,000 times, annoying you middle of the night or whatever, and then being underpaid, no. Imagine, what would be the ideal client? Deal is done in 2 emails, male, female. Just imagine really a real person who's like easygoing or whatever. It's fun to talk with them, but still professional, just whatever you like. This is your thing. And then imagine you speak to them. And this is in this tone of voice also how you create your content, and then you also look for companies and persons to follow and connect with on LinkedIn, that go into that direction and you start to comment and so on. Also, always in this kind of tone of voice, It's also in life, it's a good rule to always keep in mind. How do you want to be perceived? Of course, like I said earlier, you cannot control everything and stop thinking about what the other person might think and then act accordingly and all the psychology chaos. No. But just in general, like roughly, like how would you like to be perceived and then act accordingly? Whether a person misunderstands you, then it's their problem. But how you can act, what you think, how this would make you be perceived, like reliable, easygoing, or I don't know, strict, or very confident, So, and then always act accordingly. Also in life, it's a good advice. I noticed also with like answering WhatsApp messages and from friends and so on, how do you want to be perceived, It's like always being available, chatting, or like, no, okay, but this stresses me now. I only check my WhatsApp at this time of day or whatever, and that's okay. And I only answer what's necessary because this chatting just wastes too much time, or scrolling on Instagram and so on, We all know that. I don't do this in the morning anymore. And decide for yourself. All right, so before I ponder on it, if you have any questions about any of this, of course, please ask. Otherwise, I could rant about these things forever because I'm so passionate about this, because this is already mindset here, really. Okay, now, profile perfection. Now, guys, let's find a volunteer who would like to be in the hot seat. What we will do is we will look at your profile photo, at your banner. If you don't know what your banner is, don't worry, we will talk about it. The headline underneath your photo, basically. Also, you can take a screenshot of this, if you want to work on this afterwards, no problem. I'll just change the slide here. This we can skip as an example here. This is about your headline already, if you want to take a screenshot already. And then I will ask in, I think, 1 or 2 slides, who wants to be in the hot seat? Somebody who hasn't been yet in the previous workshops, maybe. But you can already take a screenshot here. Headline, always the advice to use all of the space that you have, all of the characters. Then if you have got time, the about section, because here you can really elaborate, and also there, use all of the characters. Because if somebody already goes on your profile and wants to read about you, they want to read about you. So, it's up to them how much they read. So, of course, make it readable, like maybe bullet points, not like just a bulk of text, but, use all of the characters. And always think here also about your ideal client. Imagine your ideal client was reading that. What would they want to read? What would they want to know? As an example of mine, but yeah, we can skip this. Okay, what to post on LinkedIn. Okay, let's do the profile perfection first, and then we come to the content. I think I said already a lot about it. So guys, who wants to be in the hot seat? Who's willing to share their screen? I'm also just reading the chat. Soldani, thank you. Soldani, would you like to be in the hot seat as well? We can also come to your question.
Hi. Actually, I'm not an interpreter. I'm a translator. So I think I'm not the best person to use as an example.
I don't mind. I mean, the rules apply still. If you'd still like to share, I mean, it's just for translation clients then, but
well, yes, okay. But if others prefer to share their profile because they are actually interpreters, of course, I stand aside.
Okay, let's count to 3. If somebody shouts, yeah, but if not, then translator is totally fine. I'm sure we can all learn from that as well. So if there's somebody else who wants to, 1, 2, 3. Okay, no, Salt to Soldani. All right.
Francesca.
Oh, Francesca, sorry. Yeah, see, this is what it's when you're the host and presenting. Oh, okay, Francesca. No, I see that this is a first name. Oh, dang. Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So
thank you.
how do I share my profile?
On Zoom, are you on your computer or phone? Your computer, no?
Yes, from my computer. Or,
Yeah, you should see a green button in your Zoom window in the middle at the bottom.
okay, just a second.
You find it, and I will read out your question. Some colleagues recommend the premium version of LinkedIn, which they consider the only way to find new leads, potential clients. What do you think about the free version versus the premium version? So I have the premium version, but how to say, I don't use it so much for like interpreting client acquisition. This is rather for me here for my interpreter's mentor business, being the interpreter business mentor. If you're an interpreter looking for interpreting clients, it depends on how much tech affinity you have, let's say, or tech is maybe the wrong word, but like premium offers a lot of tools, but like there's a business manager, you can post ads, you can look at like who viewed your profile and all of the like statistics, I want to say statistics, numbers, and so on.
Healthy living.
And then go about it that way. If you have an affinity for this, then please go for it. If not, I personally find it's totally fine to start client acquisition without this, because the key is to reach out to people, to get in touch with them, to build a relationship with them, and you can do all of this without premium, without the statistics, and so on.
Okay.
Yeah, Susan, yeah.
I think you always get a 30-day free trial with LinkedIn Premium. So I guess you could try it and then see if you find it worthwhile.
Yeah, that's a very good idea.
I did that for when I was writing my master's dissertation, and I was wanting to do interviews with potential clients was my target audience. And I found that none of them replied to in-mails sent through LinkedIn Premium. So in terms of getting a response, it wasn't better than sending emails. In fact, it was less effective. That was my
I agree.
experience.
It's my experience too. Yeah, and also
although it was for a different purpose than finding clients, it was recruiting people to interview. But I
essentially,
didn't
it's always
continue after the 30-day free trial personally.
But essentially, it's the same. You want something from them, basically, and then
Yeah.
they don't reply. And it's my experience as well. But think about yourself also. Like, do you get in mails from like people that want to offer you something? How do you react to that? And this, gives already good indication. But you can the 30-day trial is totally fine, and you get more. You can message more people that are only your third connection. Than in the free version as well. But if you already do it regularly with a free version, with every month, then this is it, because it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, really. All right. Okay. Thank you. I see the profile. I think the others too. If anybody has any issues, let us know. All right. Okay. So Francesca Soldani. Okay, so and here also everybody, of course, please, jump in, more eyes, see more than 2. Let's see. So I already see that you have a profile picture and your banner. You know what the banner is behind your profile picture. And Verso Translations. This is your logo, I think, and your name of your business, yeah?
Yes, it's yes. I'm a freelance translator, but I have actually I'm not. There are different ways to be freelance in Italy. I have what is called the ditta individuale, so single. Well, it's not an agency, but it's an it's enterprise made only by one person, actually.
All right. Okay. Yeah. And does it mean anything do Italians like? Is it like also diversity? Does it mean anything or?
It means from one language to another language. Da e verso.
Verso, I get. Okay, cool.
Verso
So I like.
into.
So I like already this wordplay. So I guess Italians and what is the other language? They would already maybe understand it right away. And I also understand verso, so one can already guess, even if it's not your language. Like me, I don't speak Italian. So yeah, cool. So I really like the banner and the profile, and it really fits perfectly also with your profile photo. And with your profile photo, it's very good that we see your face. At first, I was a bit, I stumbled across your hand in your face because it covers up a bit of your face.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about, like, on the one hand, it's good because it stands out. It's different to just what you normally see, right? It's a bit different. So I'm just weighing up, or
maybe the only problem is that it's quite an old picture. It's well, it's from a few years ago, but I haven't changed much, maybe.
Yeah, I think I would recognize you. I mean, okay, now you're wearing
Okay.
glasses. Of course, if you were like maybe 18 there, like if it's like too different, if the difference is too much, like if you're already 60 and you have a picture from when you were 20 or whatever, I don't know when if you still look the same, okay, but let's be realistic. If there's a big difference, then maybe you should be recognizable. That's the point, basically, yeah. And I think you are. I mean, the others can also jump in. Also, the others, what do you think about the hand in the face? What weighs more, like that it stands
I
out,
like
it's
it.
nice, or that
I like it. It looks like you're just thinking of the perfect word.
Okay.
Is it a professional photo? Did you
No,
pay
it was
for-
my mother's picture.
Nice.
Mother took it.
Oh,
I like the coloring on it.
Yes, it was the back of
Peach.
my house. Actually, it's actually nothing was changed in this picture, colors or anything. It was the back of the wall of my house outside.
Here the only thing, also, okay, one thing at the time. So first of all, I agree with Susan. I think it weighs more that it's nice and different than other profile pictures with the hand, than a bit like covering up, because we still see enough. Somebody is saying?
The head on the hand makes you look like you're thinking, and that's
Yes.
important. It's important that you look as if you're thinking. It's not, you don't want to be just pretty. That's no use. It's not
No.
what.
Yeah, that fits with translations, right? Because there you have to think about it. So yeah, so I agree. So this is really great. The only thing, if you were a bit of like, if you wanted to improve something, and again, remember, this is no right or wrong. It's like proofreading something. If it's your job, you want to find something, right? But it doesn't mean it's not already good, right? So it's already super great. It's just what comes to mind here is, if this is the back of your wall and it's still the original color, you could adjust the background or remove the background, so there's no color difference to your brand colors.
Okay.
Because your brand colors seem to be this turquoise and purple a bit, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could, for example, just I mean, it's not. It looks actually a bit purple, so it's really nothing major, Just if you wanted to, this is something, remove the background maybe,
to make it more neutral.
Yeah. To just always have everything in your brand colors, basically, as much as possible. Not always possible, but yeah, where it is. Yeah, and then your headline, owner. So it's in Italian, yeah? You have your Italian profile,
Yes.
obviously. Do you have another language profile, or are you aware? My question is, are you aware that you can have the profile in multiple languages?
Yes, actually, yes. I made it only in English, but I know that I could do it. For example, in German, I work with German. I know that I can improve it a lot. Yes.
Yeah, but that's all good. We don't want any overwhelm. You already have it out there. This is already most important, Then you can always, because this is life, you can always improve. So, but
Yes.
just if you wanted to, do you know where to find it, the profile language? Just you don't have to. Just it's at the top right.
Yes, I think it's top right somewhere. Yes. Okay.
I think the others now we talked about. It's we are on your profile. Yeah, it should be on the profile page. Yeah.
Am I on the? Yes, I should be here.
Are you logged in? Yeah.
Maybe I'm not actually.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Oops.
Yeah, no worries. You don't need to show us your password now or
Okay.
anything.
No. But anyway,
Yeah, we can also
sometimes
just yeah.
sometimes I get this error message. I have to set a new password.
No problem. We can just continue, I think, with the profile as if we were a client, I guess. Just looking at
Okay.
it like before.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but I know it's somewhere on the right side. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. And again, this is something you can do also to avoid overwhelm. Just, put it in a notebook. Also everyone, I mean now, put those tasks in a notebook and do it on a day, where you don't have any other jobs, where it's quiet. Those are like in the Eisenhower method, those are like tasks that are important but not urgent. So schedule them for yourself, block the time on a day where it's not stressful, right? And the Eisenhower method, I think everybody knows the time management, to how to manage your time, but it's a different topic, but but it's called Eisenhower method. And yeah. So, all right, okay, and let's look further. So maybe you can scroll up again. Let's just have a look at your headline. Unless anybody wants, of course, to add anything to the banner or profile photo. So if not, I'm reading the headline. So the headline is right under your name. So owner, presso, diverse translations.
I should change that.
Okay. So, but this is Italian, and further down it's English. Shouldn't that be then English as well? Maybe the headline.
Yes, of course. I have to.
Okay, yeah. So this is what I would do to keep it
Make
at
a
least
lot
everything.
Of corrections. Yes.
But again, it already looks great. It looks professional. There's nothing, to I don't know, nothing urgent, as we just said. Yeah. So, but the headline, and again, but the headline, there are more characters when you change it in English. But really, don't be afraid to use all headlines, because I'm sure this is somehow counterintuitive. That's why I emphasize it so much, because you might think, oh, it looks strange if I have this long of a headline underneath my name. But no, because this is like what people see when they like look at the right-hand side, all these people there. You see the headline or whatever, or a little bit. So, and just to make somebody already click on your profile, they need to see something that intrigues them, right? So write as much in there as you can already to give your ideal client, again, as much information as you can in this little space already. Okay, and then this is the about section, right?
Yes, I have a section with information. This I have to change again. Fields and language skills. Well, very basic.
Yeah, but simplicity is usually the answer. So I like that you already have paragraphs, so like in a bullet point structure, because it's easy to read. And now, what do you think? What would you improve? Why do you say that? Let's see. What do you think? Because you said you think it needs a lot of improvement. What do you think about the about section that needs improving?
Maybe what I wanted to change, but I haven't done yet, is to put the information section in the first person, because maybe written like this, it sounds more technical. It's not very appealing. Maybe it would be better to say I am, and I do this and that, and I know this and that, and
yeah, this is also something everyone can answer for themselves, again, when they think about their ideal client. But if it's like an easygoing, like, or whatever, and again, like what I said before, like about posting, like talking to a friend, like, yes, then, or is it, I don't know, is it somehow a field where it has to be super professional or whatever, then it should be third person and a bit more conservative. This is about your ideal client. I think Chris wants to add something, please. Oh, Silva, sorry, is it again the wrong way around?
Yeah.
Silva, hi.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and I'm joining from Washington. One of the issues that I also have is, just like Francesca, I'm also a translator. And so sometimes it's hard to like separate the interpreter profile from the translator profile. And Francesca, I noticed that your combinations for translation, which can be different from your interpreting combinations, are all in one line. Perhaps have them as bullet points just so it's a little bit easier
Yeah.
to read. And then I would not use like precious LinkedIn space on saying specialization fields. I would just go into, you see what I'm saying, into the specialization field. So German, Italian, next line, French, Italian, blah, blah, blah. And then business, legal, because people will know that those are the specialization fields merely because people are going to be accessing LinkedIn from a cell phone where real estate is at a premium. So, and my profile is super messed up as well. So I'm just looking, not that yours is messed up. Let me scratch
No,
that.
it's messed up and it's old. I have to update it.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can actually implement this into my profile. So
Okay.
thank you for allowing us to self-reflect.
Yeah,
And then
great.
I
Thanks,
don't know,
Chris.
another issue is that I don't know about other countries, but in Italy, many customers, many clients do not have a clue about what is a translator and what is an interpreter, and they
Yeah,
don't know the difference.
and
So
that's
they look for an interpreter and then call me. And on my website, there's nowhere is written that I am an interpreter. So I'm not an interpreter, but they look for an interpreter and they say, but you said you're a translator. And I said, yes, I'm a translator. I'm not an interpreter. And what's the difference?
Yeah,
So
this is great point. Also, Chris, everything you said is super valuable. Exactly, this bullet points, don't use the
I
word
don't know
specialty
about other
field and so on.
countries.
Yeah, but
Same.
all of these, yeah, same. And all of these questions become easier to answer, or at least to take a decision on how to proceed. Because look, again, this is not wrong. It's not messed up. It's just, now after a while, because we are routine blinded and we want to perfect it, we learn about marketing and so on, okay, we know, okay, strategy wise, we can improve something. But if somebody, from the outside looked at it, it looks professional already, right? So, but I totally agree with what Chris said. So this, really great to implement already the languages underneath each other and so on. And then to those questions, also for Chris here, interpreter profile versus translator profile and so on, and explaining what translation is or not, etc., versus interpreting. It is so helpful to always have your ideal client in mind. Does your ideal client already know it or not? Or if you still want to, if you have space left and so on at the bottom or whatever, you can add those additional information, this kind of additional information, let's say, and always, like I think journalists learn, like you need to assume the reader is dumb, but don't make them feel dumb. So you need to tell them everything without them, without lecturing them and without them feeling dumb, like, oh, I knew this already, translation is written or whatever. No, so it's like in a subordinate sentence, you squeeze it in, just like in a subtle way. So in my translation work, comma, writing written documents or something, and then in my interpreting work, where I verbally transmit or render what's being said, like, you understand what I'm trying to say here in a subtle way, not like interpreting is, because you're stupid, I'm telling you, so interpreting is this, so this is how you can go about it. And yeah, have your ideal client in mind. And here don't worry about, or not don't worry, this is bad to say, but if your worry comes up like, oh, for example, I decide now I want to do more translations, so I do a translator profile, oh, but then I will, exclude the interpreting clients. No, when this worry comes up, like if I just focus on this one ideal client, I lose all of the others, then this worry, you have to reduce it because this is not happening. This is what all marketing experts teach. You need to niche down because if you spoke to everyone, translators, interpreters, and all fields, you don't speak to anyone because you're wishy-washy, you don't have a strong opinion. Yes, if you have strong opinions, you might put people off, but this means you become magnetic also in the other direction, like you attract people because you have this strong opinion. Whereas when you're just wishy-washy, you don't attract nobody, you don't put anybody off, but you're overlooked, and we don't want to be overlooked. So it's about niching down. And it still happens that people from the other industries that are outside of this niche, outside of your ideal clients, will contact you. Why? Because you state something strong opinion or whatever, and they feel attracted to this. So this is the psychology behind it here. So niche down, it helps you answering and taking decision on all of those questions yourself. And if this worry comes up, just acknowledge it. Okay, I see that you are there, worry. I still do it this way, because you don't have anything to lose, right? I mean, so why not try it out that way at least? All right, okay. Let me just have a look here again. Yeah, anything else you would like to ask that you could improve, or anybody else that sees anything here?
Actually, I was looking for
Mhm.
my profile, and I didn't listen carefully to your answer to my question in the chat
Yeah,
concerning
sorry. Yeah, I will do. Yeah,
the
the
premium
premium. Yeah. But
versus.
first also,
Just
Chris,
quickly,
regarding your whether you should create an interpreter profile or translator profile. Again, think about your ideal client, Chris. What do you want to focus on now? What do you want to work in at the moment? If it changes in 2 months, you can change it. But what's now, and this is your ideal client and your ideal profile. Huh? Okay. Now the premium version, Francesca. So we basically said. If you are like, what did we say? if you just wanting to start using LinkedIn for more client acquisition to avoid overwhelm, the free version is totally fine. We haven't made any experience with the premium version that people respond more or anything like this. You have the advantage that you can message more people that are like just a 30-degree connection and more in mails, like a
depends.
longer message.
Okay.
But whether the ROI, return on investment, or whatever you want to call it, is worth it. Susan said it, and in my experience as well, I have not made this experience. So the free version should be totally fine, unless you are statistics nerd, passionate about statistics, because it offers you all of these marketing tools. You can look at how many people viewed your profile, when visits, and what is their profile? Is there like a common pattern and so on, from this industry, automotive, they like it or whatever, all of these marketing tools. But if you're not into this, then the free version is totally fine because you can already approach people, connect, create content. Yeah. But you can try it out as if it was a 1 month, 30-day free trial. Try it out and see for yourself what it offers. Yeah, and whether you like using the premium features, because this is again what it's about, mindset. Don't overwhelm with your life with things that you're not passionate about, because in the end it's always about, behind everything here is that we want a life where we feel most of the time peace of mind, serene, right, calm, stress-free, and keep all of this always in mind. This is a meta level, and if it stresses you too much, if it's not worth it, like your stress for like a month, okay, like deal with it for a month, learn about it, and then of course the stress reduces as well. Don't get me wrong here. Then please do it. Invest months of stressful time. But if you think like, okay, I can do this all with a free version, because the key is to be consistent. If you use all of the free tools there consistently, like view it as a marathon, then this is your client acquisition strategy right there. All righty.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we have 10 minutes left. Shall we move over maybe to the topic of like what to post on LinkedIn, like how to maybe be active, or would you like to continue with the profile? No, any preference? Thumbs up for what to post. 1, 2. The others, maybe some of people are just listening here. I don't know. Thumbs up for continuing on profile improvements. Also 2, right? No, this was 1. It's just coming up as 2. It was 1. Okay, sorry, Lucia. Nobody else is giving me a thumbs up here for profile perfection. Well, then the 2 people for for the post 1. Okay, let's see. So what to post on LinkedIn? Are you already actually creating your own content on LinkedIn? Anybody? Also give me a thumbs up or write in the chat yes. Okay, I think, okay. Well, great. Okay, cool. I see the chat. Okay, what to post on LinkedIn? Let me just see whether I have a nice slide on it that's helpful. Or not. Basically, you can already take away a lot from what we discussed also about the profile regarding the idea of keeping your ideal client in mind, because then you can also think about, okay, so what would they be interested in, right? And maybe again, you can take it on the basis of a cool client you already have. And like what conversations did you have with them before, and what questions did they ask you? And at an event where you worked for this client or together, like what stood out? Always just pick one thing. This can be overwhelming as well because so much is happening at an interpreting assignment. And yes, it's confidential. And what shall I post about and so on. But again, like don't let this confidentiality thing hinder you to post about it. You pick something, and decide again and just do it, because it's this mindset again. These worries and this inner critic and worried person is always there. You just need to do it anyways. For example, I picked a topic from one conference about table microphones. So something not related to the topic. I didn't need to talk about the topic. No issue with any confidentiality. It was just about like handheld microphones, for example, and how we convinced the client to actually, instead of 2 handheld microphones, when nobody wants to get the task of these high top managers to walk around and turn to the microphone to the next one that speaks, and so why it's better to have table microphones, for example, on each table. And yes, it costs more. And how we convince the patient, I wanted to say, sorry, I do a lot of medical interpreting, the client, to book table microphone. So you just pick one thing that stood out, because this is, I remember, because this, I discussed this with a colleague, and then we made this thing talking to the client about it and so on. So something you remember, or even like something that comes up during an assignment, write it down, and then don't ponder on it. Just take this as a topic, because yes, there are probably 10 more topics or 10,000 more topics you could even take from this event, But don't ponder on, will this be interesting enough? Just do it, because again, this is about practice. So actually, we could leave the name practice, but again, this is also practice here. Yes, yeah, maybe the first post won't be perfect, but look, you can always, in the worst case, delete it again. And like with a profile, actually somebody outside will not notice that you think it's not great, because again, people are like, they are not in your head, and they don't have time to analyze your post in their day-to-day business, right? So this is all like too much worry about what another person might think about my post or whatever, as long as it's not totally, violating any posting rules, of course, then, you're totally fine. Like with the profile, it's already not bad. You can, nobody will notice anything. It's the same thing with the post. You won't say afterwards, oh, I posted about table microphones, how embarrassing, whatever. No, this next time, then pick something else, if it comes up, those kind of feelings. So, and here just some examples. If just to start and just to have something, you can also take a screenshot, of course. but again, like these are just examples, but in an ideal world, you would have your ideal client in mind, right? Like, would they be interested, to book you like an interpreter journey behind the scenes, just, think about your ideal clients always in mind. And yeah, write down one idea that you will create a post about this week. Oh yeah, and articles. Just briefly, I'm sure most of you know that there was also the article function. It's when you start posting in the same window. Do you know it, or do I need to show it? I think it's known. Articles, it's like the longer version of a post. And just to let you know, when you create an article, and nowadays you can have AI help you, right? If you have a topic and make it long and so on, have a nice picture. But also you can repurpose that. Then a week later, make it a post, or the other way around, like the shorter version, just a post. So also repurpose your content. Then go back from 6 weeks ago, take something that you posted about and write it a bit differently or a different angle or whatever. So this is why actually it doesn't have to be overwhelming at all, because you already have then a whole pool of content after some time that you just need to repurpose. Yeah. And just briefly, because we're also running out of time here, just networking without being spammy. Actually the best rule is, I guess, think about how you would like to be contacted or addressed, right? And then act accordingly, like the golden rule or whatever, because this already tells you a lot, like, and notice yourself how you react to some first messages that you get, and then if there's something that puts you off, then you can learn from this in the sense that you don't do it this way, So you connect to a person from a certain company, for example, add a note or not, often they will still accept it. But there also, because it's a professional network, it's okay to already say that you're an interpreter in the add note section. There's a question in the chat. What about posting short videos? Great, yes. This is so great because videos are wonderful because it immediately makes the other person get to know you so much more than by just reading a text, right? So text, photo, video, because they see you speak, they get your whole personality. And again, speak as if you were like speaking to a friend, this makes it closer. This is a marketing aspect here about it. Yes, so videos, yes, yes, yes. If you dare so, wow, take me, I'm so proud of you. Because this is like, in my experience, what people are most afraid of, right? Yeah, and here maybe last, like, to have a weekly routine, just to have like a guideline. You can differ it, of course. Again, it's just to help you. Don't make it like, if it doesn't help you, then don't take it, But for example, comment on 3 posts and every day, and just share a post twice a week. And then every week send a few connection requests, take the maximum of the free version or whatever, per month then, and then divide it into the weekly. How many can you then connect to weekly? And also in this way, LinkedIn is really cool because LinkedIn doesn't want you to post every day, twice a day, like Instagram or whatever, So here it's actually good to post less. So like 2 to maximum 3 times per week, And even if this overwhelms you, start with 1 a week or 1 every 2 weeks, Even now, just 1 this month, and then in November again, The point is to start. And then with practice, it becomes easier. And then don't underestimate the comment and liking reactions to other people's posts. But again, with strategy from your ideal client, because this also helps with the algorithm, that then more of this kind is shown to you and so on. Alrighty. And yeah, we are at the top of the hour, and you will have also, I will stay here for any questions if any are left. Just before we finish, is it okay if I just present if this is something you liked, how you could work with me more closely, because we can only do so much in a 1 hour session here, and I do offer a mentoring program to help colleagues find clients one-to-one. That's okay if I briefly present it? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So I offer a a program that is 4 months long with one-to-one support and a vast self-study video library with my signature video course, Accelerate Your RSI Business, Remote Simultaneous Interpreting, with marketing, guest speakers, about a whole branding book. Here, everything is covered regarding colors, logo, etc. But also that this is not all, that, you know, how to create your personal brand. You are your brand. That's why personality. Even money mindset, you know, because if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is it, because in society we don't get any financial education, and this is about like reviewing and just becoming aware, first of all, what money mindset you have and what's blocking you here, actually. Website creation, so it's really fantastic. And if you're interested, you know, you don't need to book anything now. You can jump on a clarity call with me where we will have a talk for about 45 minutes to become clear about whether this is something for you, whether I can actually help you or not, you know. And yeah, and then we can decide in that call, you know. You don't have to decide anything now. There is the link. I will also share it in the chat in a minute, and you will receive it by email. Yeah. What else? Here's a testimonial if you like. I will just read the chat. Oh yeah, thank you as well, Francesca. There's the testimonial here. Another chat, yeah. Yeah, thank you as well. Great, guys. It was good. And if you have any questions, think about them. Here you can also reply to the emails you get from me, or message me directly on the direct messaging possibility on the platform School, or LinkedIn, of course. Duh. So yeah, any questions? If not, let me also grab the link. As the screen share and one screen, it doesn't, not so easy. You can think about your questions if there's any left. There's a link in the chat. Looks like there are no questions, huh? Hope I didn't like overwhelm you too much. But yeah, if there's anything also that comes up afterwards, you can always message me with a question, of course. And yeah, I'll jump on the call and ask it there. That's totally cool. That's what we will do. We can also review your profile if you have time in the call to see what questions we can get answered there. All right. Business idea. Oh, that sounds intriguing. Yes, yes. All right then. Okay. With that, I guess I can let you go. have a wonderful rest of your day. Or let me just take a screenshot if that's okay. Or like a photo for my Instagram stories. You're talking about social media, huh? Okay. Great. Yeah, thank you as well. I'm just reading the chat here. Okay, wonderful, guys. Have a great rest of your day. And don't forget the summit, October 11 and 12. We have amazing spotlight speakers, and can't wait to see you there. Bye-bye.